So I had not been around over the past couple of days. We're just having like kind of a slow January. But one of the bigger reasons was Super Nintendo World opened up in Los Angeles, and they're not officially open yet. They don't actually open up until like middle of February. So they're going through what's called technical rehearsals now, which is not really a soft opening. It kind of is. Or maybe like not everything is up and running, or they're still like figuring out how to get everything up and running, and they're just sort of like letting some people in. It's not invitation. It's more like they don't advertise that it's open and available and you just go. We found out that there was a tech rehearsal and we got Ripley down there, and we had not been to Universal in a long time. Pretty much just walked into Nintendo World and I got some footage, right? And I think this is kind of a relevant thing to talk about because of course it's a video game theme park. I'm not like the Nintendo guy specifically or anything, but I grew up with this stuff. I think anybody that grew up in the 80s and 90s with Nintendo and Super Nintendo and everything like that is going to have an inherent kind of interest in a video game theme park, in Nintendo's actual theme park. And we got to go on the rides. I got to go on all the mini games and everything like that. And I just kind of wanted to talk about it a bit. And it's hard not to specifically talk about it without showing some of it. And I did get a little bit of footage, so I can bring that up right now. Hold on a second. Super Nintendo World, officially a real thing in Southern California. This is it. That's it right there. That's the only thing. That's the only shot we got. That is literally it. Good night, everybody. So this is like the experience you get when you first go in. And it's pretty great, man. I gotta say, like, while I might not be super down with like all of the rides and all the mini games and stuff like that, just being in this place is like something else. There's something about like growing up with old school Mario and stuff like that, and then you eventually like go to this place and actually like see how big and expansive it is once you're inside it, and it's amazing, man. It's like, this is wild, dude. I'm looking around and I'm just like, I would have never imagined in my years of like being a kid with this, growing up with an NES or something, and then witnessing this on this scale. Is it absolutely huge? No, it isn't. It isn't huge, right? It isn't absolutely massive, but it does give you like this sense of like scale and wonder that is absolutely amazing. So I'd say for me personally, like, I just liked being there, right? There's a certain aspect when you get to be an adult where you just enjoy going to places and just being there. Like, you just want to go to Disneyland just to be at Disneyland. Do you specifically want to get on rides and ride all the rides and do this stuff? Not specifically. Like, maybe not. Just being around the atmosphere of the area is comforting enough to validate an experience, right? And of course, Kenny loves it, right? Kenny is like super into all this stuff. So I don't know, to me it's like that's what I enjoyed about it the most, is just like the overall experience of being there, right? And especially like having a kid and being able to show her all this stuff, it's the best, right? It is genuinely the best. And the nicest part you'll notice is that we can actually walk around with our arms out and not collide with people. We got there right as rope dropped, so we just went straight there. And look at this place, it's like empty, right? We felt like we were like influencers or something like that. So to me, like, it was great. And you see a lot of this stuff all over the place. They have like actual interactive mini games where you have to buy these wrist straps that cost like 40-50 bucks or something like that, but they let you play mini games. And I was like, I don't need all of that. We just want to like give it a shot. But the nice part is that the mini games are kind of fun. They're kind of enjoyable. The wrist straps let you actually engage with the land, so they are exactly like you'd expect with like the Harry Potter wands that, you know, interact with the environment. It's the same stuff, you know, except this time you go to like certain spots and there's hidden Marios all over the place and pixel art from the OG games and stuff like that. So JJ got one and we just like split it when we went on rides and everything like that. Ripley loved this place, right? Yeah, Ripley just absolutely hit it off. She She loved it. And to be honest, I really did too. I will say though, I will say there was one thing that I didn't like absolutely love, and it is quite literally the main attraction, right? I did not absolutely love, and this is on the way to it, and this thing is amazing, right? This is the line for Mario Kart, and Mario Kart's a really cool ride, right? It's like a new gen, right, new age kind of ride where they're going to be doing all this weird, fascinating stuff. This is the line on the way to Mario Kart, and it's so cool. Like, it is. There's so much world building and cool little things like all over the place. It's fantastic. I love every single part of Mario Kart until I got on the ride. And my biggest issue with a lot of these video gamey rides is that I enjoy some of them, right? You get like the Lightyear ride at Disney. You get the other Toy Story ride that's in DCA. You get like the Men in Black ride at Universal Orlando, where you have to like play a game where you are on the ride. And I don't mind it sometimes, but to me, like, this one's just a bit too much because it's an augmented reality. You pretty much put on a VR headset, and the visor, you see like displayed characters from the entirety of the race. So it's not as much sensory overload. It's that there's a lot of aiming and shooting. Right? You have to like constantly, you're just looking around doing this the whole time. And I'm like, I don't really feel like the ride is engaging me. I feel like I have to engage the ride. Right? And I kind of like rides being rides. Like, to me, I don't really like playing video games while I'm on rides. And that's just a me thing, you know? So to me, I just kind of wanted to go on like a fast Mario Kart ride, which would just be fun to like, something, I don't know, something similar to what happens at DCA, like the Cars ride. I think I'd be more down for something like that with like a minimal amount of like VR influence, because all that happened at the end of the Mario Kart ride, my neck just hurt, man. Like, see, this visor thing is heavy. And I'm pretty sensitive to like carrying shit on my head. I don't even wear headphones. Like, I just don't. To me, at one point, it was just like, God, man, and you have to constantly like look over and do this shit, and you're turning and doing, whoo. So no Toy Story Mania. Toy Story Mania is just a video game, and not like it's barely a ride. It's just a video game. The only issue about the AR stuff is that it's only within the field of view. So you're constantly being taken out of the ride because it'll cut off. You know, it's not like this entire scope right here is the Mario Kart race. No, it's happening like here. So as soon as it goes outside the border here, immersion's lost, right? There's only so much it can render at any given time. It's like the ride would be really cool, and I feel like if you don't play video games, this shit is probably fucking amazing. In the same way that people love the Millennium Falcon ride at Disneyland, right? Whatever, the Falcon's Great Escape, I forget what the fuck it's called. I've been on it once, and I could never go on it again because the ride just sucks. Like, you're essentially playing a bad video game. But the interaction, like the build up to it, is so sick. Like the Smuggler's Run, thank you. The line, like everything before the ride begins is just the dopest thing. And once you get on the ride, it's like, So is it a full ride or is it AR? It is a full ride with AR. But once you don't have the AR, you realize like how slow the ride is. It is not moving fast in almost any way at all. So I feel like for anybody that isn't used to like playing like VR, and you aim with your eyesight, right? You actually aim like Resident Evil 7 style. You look and you aim. And I feel like I've heard a lot of really good impressions of it, and I might be one of the few that just did not love the ride. And the weird part about it is everything else of the park I did really enjoy, and I thought was like really damn cool. I think the majority of everything else that actually happens at this park was incredibly cool. It's just that I don't need to go on the ride again. It's just not that. I did have the food. Hey, you're right. I did have the food. Good point. The food was shockingly good. I did not get the basic ass burger, right? Super Mario World Hollywood food. Let's look up the food because I did not take pictures of the food. I think JJ did, but we didn't. We just got a couple of desserts and stuff like that. Yeah, this is essentially it, right? So the last thing I want to get is a burger, right? I think we got the Luigi. Where is it? It was I got the Luigi chicken. It was a chicken pesto sandwich, and it was shockingly good. It was not bad, and some of these desserts were delicate and tasty. They were also like not bad. I think these are slightly different. These are the Japanese ones. There's the Luigi burger. Yeah, it was good. It was actually quite good. The inside was pretty neat too. You go in and you're inside the Mushroom Kingdom. But yeah, here's a good shot of it. You're like inside the Mushroom Kingdom and there's displays on all the walls. And in the displays, there's like toads walking around and stuff. And you get invaded by Bowser and they all start running around and like Mario and Luigi come and save the day. So there's like a little bit of an interactivity to it. It was actually kind of sick. And we figured there was like, I don't need to eat here. We're fine. But we figured like, man, this place is going to be so cracked and busy when it eventually like actually opens up. This is going to be a problem. We might as well just go here and eat. So we waited like 10 minutes to get in and try the food. It shockingly wasn't bad. Ripley got some spaghetti. JJ split the burger with me. Split the chicken sandwich with me. It was good. Had like a huge slice of bell pepper in the middle, green bell pepper. It was very nice. So I liked it. I thought like the restaurant experience was okay. They were still clearly getting things online. Not everything was like running 150%, right? That it normally needs to. They were still learning how to get like all this stuff up and running, which isn't a bad thing. It was slow, but it wasn't like the end of the world. People were still trying to like, how do we operate? You know, that's the whole point of an early opening like this, or like a technical rehearsal. Anyway, I'd say like overall very positive, even though like I'm not a big fan of these like VR AR rides that they've been doing a lot lately. I'm not a big fan of them in general, even when like Disney does it or anything like that. I was actually I absolutely loved Rise of the Resistance because it's like a giant stage play that's happening in front of you. I really love that ride because it's so much practical stuff happening around you, and it's like, geez, look at all this coordinated bullshit. Like, this is so sick. Most of like the VR AR stuff, whenever, or very video gamey type stuff, whenever I've run into it, I've never been really a huge fan of it. And unfortunately, the Mario Kart ride just sort of lined up with that. It just was like, this is okay. Still to this day, my absolute favorite video gamey ride, where it's like, oh, you're having to play a video game and also do the ride, but the ride also engages you in a way where it's not only video gamey. There's a lot of really cool shit that happens on the ride. Men in Black Universal Orlando is fucking awesome, man. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you're like wondering if you should go to this, if you like, video games or you grew up with Mario, this is the only thing you need to see, right? This is the moment. This is it right here. This shit is incredible. As soon as you walk through the pipe and you see like the scale of everything, and you get to experience like, a Super Mario World from the ground level. I loved it. I just, from the top, it doesn't look super impressive, but as soon as you walk in with like your family, it's great. It's genuinely amazing. So yeah, I would go back just for this. Right. And I thought it was a fantastic experience, even though the attractions themselves weren't the things that really got me going. Yeah, seeing this for the first time was absolutely awesome. I loved it. This is in California. Yeah, this is the one in Los Angeles. It opens up officially in February, middle of February.